I find it fitting that I would buy my first book in Peru during my first full day of travel there, and I had just arrived into the city of Trujillo after staying up all night in the Lima airport the night before. I was just arriving into Trujillo, and I checked into the hotel. I had about a couple hours before a shuttle tour was already on its way to this site of Magdalena de Cao, so I decided to tag along because I wanted to make the most of the time, the few days that I had in Trujillo to begin this first leg of the travel. And so I was kind of groggy during that visit to the archaeological sites, but I thoroughly enjoyed the visits to the site of Magdalena de Cao, and I plan to make a video dedicated to the archaeology and symbolism of this area that was built by the Moché civilization that flourished during a good part of the first millennium AD. And at the gift shop to the Magdalena de Cao, I bought the book Cosmos Moche, which is dedicated to an extraordinarily intricate panel that was discovered at the archaeological site of Huaca de la Luna. This too is worthy of a video that I would like to contribute to the Eye of the Serpent channel. And in 1996, the archaeologists had excavated an extraordinarily intricate mural at the site of Huaca de la Luna that is replete with images of stars, animals, rituals, human figures, celestial beings, and other kinds of supernatural figures. And this is the subject of the scrutinous investigation that is exploring the symbolism in this edited volume that is looking for ways to interpret the intricate symbology that is found in this one particular panel. And so the authors of this book look at contemporary ethnographic studies, looking at contemporary rituals, folklore, mythology, as well as colonial sources and the archaeological record in order to propose some interpretations and explanations for the cosmological symbolism that seems to be driving the storytelling or the mythical scenes that are being displayed in this in the mural from the Huaca de la Luna. And the book has much to say about the cosmology, the ways in which the Moche reckoned their place in the universe, the worlds above, here, and below, which I elaborate in a video on Pacha as a concept that was developed by the Inca and the Quechua speakers of southern and Peru. One of the points that Cosmos Moche makes is that in order to understand the symbolism of the Huaca de la Luna murals, it is important to appreciate the role of myth in Moche society. Mythology was not simply based on the episodes or the stories of events that happened in the primordial past, but were seen to be recurring through nature, through the cycles and the rhythms of time and space, by observing the movements of the sun, moon, stars, and other heavenly bodies, as well as the patterns that could be observed through the seasons. The Moche could situate themselves in time and space and also schedule rituals in order to prepare for important seasonal events throughout the year. And many of these seasonal and cosmological events were depicted through symbols, such as these fantastic murals and paintings that were left on the stones, the walls, and even ceramics. The Moche ceramic tradition is one of the finest of its kind in all of the indigenous Americas. And these images often point to astrological events such as the Scorpio constellation that is preceding the movement of the sun in the sky. All in all, Cosmos Moche does an outstanding job of integrating archaeological, ethnographic, and linguistic sources in order to present a holistic reading of the symbology in the mural at the Huaca de la Luna archaeological site. The book also came with a companion DVD dedicated to the temples of the Huacas of the Sun and the Moon. Huaca is a Quechua term that can be roughly translated into a space for the sacred, a locus of sacred power and the spiritual presence. And this can be used for a temple, a pyramid, even a person can be a Huaca if they are holy in certain ways. And so the Huacas of the Sun and the Moon moon are the subject of still ongoing excavations at that archaeological site. And this DVD is an animation of how these temples could have appeared back at the height of the Moche civilization. So probably around 6 to 800 AD. And it is a wonderful computer rendition of the scaled models of the sun and moon temples at this archaeological site, including a few animations that reenact some of the Moche mythology, such as the emergence of this two-headed draconic creature that began to grow and threaten and terrorize the Moche populations until it was eventually vanquished. So it is a combination of mythical, astronomical, artistic, and CGI archaeological reconstructions that bring together a 13-minute short film that really highlight the splendors of ancient Moche art and architecture.